They told you your voice would crack, your body would change, and your moods would swing. But what they didn't tell you is the part that matters most, the part where you start to question everything, the part where you begin to feel things you can't explain, the part where silence gets loud and your body becomes a mystery. This isn't just puberty, it's the part no one prepared you for. Let's talk about the secrets they never told you. Let's get real for a moment. Puberty, everyone goes through it, but almost no one talks about it. Not really. Sure, you might have heard the basics, your body will change, or it's a part of growing up. But what they don't tell you, the unspoken truths, the confusing feelings, the secret struggles, they're the things that shape how you feel about yourself long before you even understand who you are. Let's start with this. Puberty is not just about hair and hormones, it's about identity. It's that moment when you look in the mirror and think, who is that? Your face changes, your body stretches. One day you're feeling on top of the world, and the next day you're crying over a meme, and no one really prepares you for that emotional roller coaster. They just tell you it's mood swings, but what they don't say is, it's okay to feel lost sometimes. It's okay to feel like you're becoming someone you don't recognize. Another secret, your confidence might dip, and that's normal. You might suddenly feel awkward about your voice, your skin, your shape, your smile. You'll start comparing yourself to others, especially online. You'll scroll through perfect pictures and wonder, why don't I look like that? But what they never tell you is, those people feel just as insecure as you do. They're just hiding it behind filters and captions. No one talks about how puberty makes you start craving independence, but also fearing it. One part of you wants to break free and live your truth. The other part wants to stay in the safety of what's familiar. That push and pull, that silent struggle between the kid you were and the adult you're becoming. It's real. And it doesn't mean you're confused, it means you're becoming. Let's talk about the realest part of puberty, the one they avoid like it's taboo, your relationship with your own body. You might feel desire for the first time. You might question what's happening to your thoughts. You might feel shame about it because no one ever told you that curiosity is natural. They just say, don't do this, or avoid that, without ever giving you the why, without ever reminding you that your body is not something to be ashamed of. It's something to understand, to respect, to listen to. And let me say this loud and clear, your timeline is yours. Some of your friends might develop early, others later. That doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. Your journey is unique, and so is your glow up. Don't rush it. Don't let anyone make you feel behind or too much. Puberty doesn't come with a stopwatch. It comes with patience. You know what else they don't tell you? That your voice, not just the one that cracks during puberty, but your inner voice, your truth, your intuition, it starts waking up. You'll start seeing the world differently. You'll start asking questions, deep ones, about love, about purpose, about who you are and what you stand for. That's not rebellion, that's growth, that's awakening, and finally, the biggest secret of them all. You don't have to go through this alone. It might feel like no one gets you, like no one is listening, but there are people out there who see you, who hear you, who want you to know that you're not weird or broken or too much. You're just becoming something powerful, something real, something undeniably you. Let's get real for a moment. Puberty. Everyone goes through it, but almost no one talks about it. Not really. Sure, you might have heard the basics. Your body will change, or it's a part of growing up. But no one ever sits you down and tells you how confusing, overwhelming, and downright isolating it can feel. They give you the science, but they forget to tell you the emotions that come along with it. It's not just a biological transformation. It's a mental, emotional, and spiritual shift. It's that silent chapter of life where you're caught between being someone's child and becoming your own person. And in that space, there's a lot that people just don't prepare you for. What most parents or teachers or even friends won't tell you is that puberty has a way of making you question everything, starting with yourself. One day you wake up and the person in the mirror doesn't feel like you anymore. Your features start to change. Your body becomes unfamiliar. Even your own voice might sound strange to your ears. Suddenly, the things that used to make you comfortable start to feel awkward. That favorite outfit doesn't sit right anymore. The games you used to play feel childish. You start second, guessing the way you walk, the way you laugh, the way you exist, and that kind of identity confusion. That's not talked about enough. They call it growing pains, but it's more than that. It's a quiet, constant dialogue in your head asking, "Who am I becoming?" And then there's the emotional wave no one warns you about. One moment you're laughing with your friends, and the next you're angry or sad or just numb for no clear reason. It's like your heart and mind are riding different roller coasters at the same time. People might label it as mood swings, but that label doesn't capture the depth of what you feel. Because puberty doesn't just bring hormones, it brings intensity. Every emotion feels deeper, every disappointment feels heavier, every joy feels louder, and through it all, there's this unspoken pressure to keep it together. Do not show too much, to act like it's all normal when deep down you're wondering if you're the only one feeling this way. You also start noticing things about others and yourself that you never did before. You compare, you evaluate, you start becoming aware of beauty standards, of attention, of silence. Maybe your body is developing faster than your friends, or maybe it's slower. Maybe people start commenting on how you look, or maybe they don't, and you wonder why. That comparison game becomes a silent battle. Social media doesn't help either. You scroll through pictures of people your age who seem so confident, so perfect, so ahead, and you feel behind. What nobody tells you is that half the people you're comparing yourself to feel just as insecure as you do. They're just better at hiding it. Behind every perfect post is someone trying to figure it out, just like you are. Another thing that's rarely mentioned is how your relationships begin to change. Not just romantic ones, though those start to creep in too, but friendships, family dynamics, even how strangers interact with you. Suddenly, people expect you to be more mature, more responsible, more put together, but they still treat you like a child when it's convenient. That double standard becomes a weight you carry silently. You might start to feel like your parents don't get it anymore, like your friends don't understand what you're going through, and like your voice is getting quieter even as your questions get louder. You crave freedom, but you're not sure how to handle it. You want answers, but you're not always sure how to ask the right questions. ChatGPT said, another secret, your confidence might dip. And that's normal. People often paint puberty as this exciting journey of blossoming or growing up, but they skip over the insecurity that comes with it. They don't tell you that you might start questioning the things you used to love about yourself. You might look in the mirror and suddenly notice flaws you never saw before. Your skin starts breaking out, your teeth feel weird, your nose looks bigger, your smile feels awkward. The very body you live in begins to feel like unfamiliar territory, and no one gives you a map for how to navigate it. They don't tell you how it might feel to suddenly become aware of how people perceive you. They don't tell you how it feels when someone laughs and your brain immediately thinks it's about you. They don't tell you that even the strongest people start to wonder if they're enough. What makes it harder is how silently these changes creep in. It's not like one morning you wake up and everything has changed. It's slow, it's subtle. One day you're full of energy and confidence, and the next you're questioning every word you say. You're wondering if people like you, if you're attractive, if you're normal. And you might try to act confident, to walk with your head high, to smile like you've got it all together. But inside there's doubt. That kind of doubt can be heavy. It can make you shrink. It can make you try to blend in when deep down you want to stand out. No one tells you how much energy it takes to just exist when your confidence is cracking from the inside. And what makes it worse is that society tends to glamorize certain stages of puberty. If you develop early, people might assume you're lucky or mature. But what they don't talk about is how uncomfortable it feels when your body changes before your mind is ready, when adults start treating you differently, when peers make comments that sound like compliments but feel like pressure. On the flip side, if you develop later, you're made to feel like you're behind, like your body is late to the party and everyone else got the invite. That silent shame builds slowly. It creeps into your thoughts and makes you wonder if something is wrong with you. Then there's the external noise. Social media, TV shows, influencers, telling you what beauty or cool should look like. Perfect skin, straight teeth, toned bodies, smooth hair. The unspoken message is clear. If you don't look like this, you're not it. And when you're already unsure about yourself, that message hits harder. You start scrolling for validation. You look at numbers, likes, follows, comment, trying to measure your worth. But what no one tells you is that even those with 1,000 followers still feel lonely, still doubt themselves, still wonder if they are enough when the camera's off. Confidence isn't just about how you look. It's about how you feel in your skin, in your voice, in your story. And when puberty shakes all of that up, it can feel like the foundation is gone. But no one talks about how strong you have to be to keep showing up when you don't feel like yourself. No one praises the quiet bravery it takes to go to school, to speak up in class, to wear what you want, to smile when you're self-conscious. Those moments, they're powerful, they matter. They're part of rebuilding your confidence from the inside, not based on how others see you, but based on how you start seeing yourself again through all the noise, doubt, and change. No one talks about how puberty makes you start craving independence, but also fearing it. It's like your body and mind are waking up at the same time, but they are not on the same page. One part of you wants to break free, to make your own decisions, to define who you are without anyone else's permission. But then there's this quiet voice, almost like a whisper, reminding you of how safe it felt when things were simpler, when decisions were made for you, when comfort was found in routine, when love didn't have conditions. This tug of war between who you were and who you're becoming is exhausting. And the scariest part is, you don't even know who you're becoming yet. You just know you're not the same, and that's terrifying. You begin to notice rules more, not just the ones adults give you, but the unspoken ones too. The expectations. Suddenly, you're supposed to act more grown up, but you're still treated like a child when it's convenient. They want you to think for yourself, but not too much. Speak up, but not too loud. Be confident, but not arrogant. Be mature, but don't grow up too fast. You're handed responsibilities, but rarely the freedom that's supposed to come with them. And in that space, you start to feel a quiet resentment, like your voice doesn't matter, like your choices are already decided for you, like no one's really listening. The craving for independence grows in unexpected ways. You want to choose your clothes, your music, your friends, your future. You want to explore parts of yourself that feel new. Your style, your thoughts, your beliefs. Maybe you start journaling. Maybe you start questioning things. Why do I believe this? Why does this rule exist? Why do people expect me to be one way when I feel like I'm something else entirely? These thoughts aren't signs of rebellion, even though people might treat them like they are. They're signs of awakening. They're signs that your identity is stretching, demanding space, and refusing to be boxed in. But independence doesn't come without fear. What if you make the wrong choice? What if people don't like the real you? What if stepping out of the lines means being misunderstood, or worse, rejected? That fear is real, and it sits quietly in the back of your mind every time you consider speaking your truth. You want to be seen, but not judged. You want to stand out, but not alone. So you start holding back. You dim yourself a little. You tell yourself maybe it's better to wait, to stay quiet, to play it safe. And even though you're craving freedom, you find yourself clinging to old patterns, old comforts, because at least they're familiar. There's also the loneliness that comes with growth. The people you used to feel closest to may not understand you anymore. Conversations start feeling surface level. The inside jokes don't hit the same. You laugh, but something's missing. And while everyone else seems to be laughing too, you can't shake the feeling that no one sees the real you anymore. That disconnection hurts. It makes you question whether growing up means growing apart. And in the middle of that loneliness, you might start building emotional walls. Not because you want to shut people out, but because you don't know how to let them in without losing yourself. Still, something inside you keeps pulling you forward, a quiet, persistent force, a desire to figure it out, to find your own rhythm, to create your own path even if you're unsure where it leads. You don't want to be controlled anymore, but you also don't want to be left alone in the dark. You want guidance without judgment, support without suffocation, space without abandonment. That's the balance you're searching for, often in silence, often while pretending everything's okay. Let's talk about the realest part of puberty, the one everyone avoids like it's taboo, your relationship with your own body. It starts slowly, quietly, like background music getting louder. You begin to notice things you didn't before. Maybe it's the way your body looks in the mirror. Maybe it's the way your heart races when someone touches your hand. Maybe it's the way your thoughts start to shift, and you don't know why, and you're scared to even ask. The world around you stays quiet on the subject, only dropping hints here and there, making you feel like curiosity is wrong, like asking questions is shameful. But the truth is, your body is starting to speak a new language, and no one ever gave you the vocabulary to understand it. Desire starts creeping in, not just physical, but emotional, spiritual. You want to be close to people. You want to be seen, you want to be touched, not just by hands, but by understanding. You want to feel something that goes deeper than likes or comments or emojis. You start wondering about intimacy, not just the kind they talk about in health class, but the kind you see in movies where two people just get each other. And yet, when those thoughts come, they're often followed by guilt. Like you're not supposed to be thinking about this yet, like you're too young to feel what you're feeling. That shame doesn't come from within, it's learned. It's passed down in silences and side dies, in awkward conversations that never happen, in the constant message that certain topics are off limits. So you keep it inside. You try to figure it out alone. Maybe you Google things in secret. Maybe you ask your friends in hushed tones. Maybe you pretend you already know what's happening so you don't look stupid. And all the while your body keeps changing, keeps evolving, keeps sending signals that you don't always understand. You get nervous when people mention certain topics. You feel embarrassed by your own thoughts. And somewhere along the way, you start believing that being curious makes you dirty, that feeling attraction makes you wrong, that learning about your body is something to hide, not honor. The thing they don't tell you is that your body is not a problem to solve. It's not a war zone, and it's not something you need to silence. It's a message, a map, a guide. It tells you when you're tired, when you're excited, when you're scared, when you're ready, when you're not. But when you grow up in a world that teaches you to disconnect from your body, you lose the ability to hear it clearly. You ignore your gut instincts. You say yes when you want to say no. You feel uncomfortable but brush it off. You stop trusting yourself before you even get the chance to know yourself. There's power in understanding what's happening to you. Not just the technical changes, but the emotional ones. The way your body becomes a battleground between innocence and curiosity, between freedom and fear. The way you look at yourself in the mirror and wonder if what you're seeing is okay. The way you start to see others through new eyes and feel things you can't explain. All of that is part of growing up, but no one really prepares you for how lonely that process can feel. How you can be surrounded by people and still feel like no one understands what's going on inside you. So you learn to smile, you learn to perform, you act like everything's fine because that's what you think you're supposed to do. But deep down, you're just trying to make peace with a body that's changing faster than your mind can keep up. ChatGPT said, so if no one's ever told you this before, let me say it now, there's nothing wrong with you. What you're feeling is valid. What you're going through is real. You're not broken, you're becoming. Puberty isn't just a chapter. It's the beginning of your power. Trust your voice, learn your rhythm, and honor your journey. Because the world doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be real, raw, and unapologetically you.